You're on mute.
Live from LinkedIn, it's Revening's Whiskey Wednesday. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday, Revenue Party people. How's it going?
So we have two amazing guests with us today. But before we jump into it, we have to do our PSA. So let me go ahead and pull that up here. As everybody knows, yes, we do have whiskey in the name Whiskey Wednesday, but we do not condone, neither do we advocate the use of alcohol on any level. If you do decide to drink alcohol, please do so responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Other than that, we do want to have some fun tonight. We do have two amazing guests with us. We have Leese and we have Zoë Hart. We're going to give you the floor for a second. So just, say hi, a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump into topics as you saw in the intro video.
All right. My name is Zoë Hart or Zoë Hartsfield, whichever one works. I run community at a company called Speckit. We are a just-in-time enablement platform. Think of us like DoorDash for your sales enablement needs. We bring enablement to you instead of you having to go and find enablement resources somewhere else. But really, really happy to be here. I think we're going to have some fun tonight.
Hell yeah, we are.
I'm Scott Leese. I run my own consulting company, Scott Leese Consulting, as well as run a couple different community-driven companies, one called Surf and Sales, another called Thursday Night Sales. And I'm also the founder of a show that predates Whiskey Wednesday.
It's true.
Called Tequila Tuesday. So I'm drinking tequila in protest of Whiskey Wednesday, even though I'm here loving it.
We have to show Zoe with the fist bump. That was awesome. She's like fist bump that one.
Yeah, tequila all day. Yeah.
So we do have to admit, because this is one of the things that we had spoken about, Tequila Tuesday does predate Whiskey Wednesday. And honestly, I could not be more thrilled that Scott's with us. So the amount of knowledge that we're going to be able to get today is unprecedented, to say the least. And as you know, last episode, we started something pretty spectacular. We're going to be giving away a shit ton of stuff tonight. And funny enough, last minute, Scott Leese decided to throw in a gift. I'm going to be able to show you that later on as we start giving them away. But this blueprint is going to change your life. If you're somebody who wants to take your income stream and try to multiply it, this thing will do it for you. I'm going to show you the picture a little bit later, and then we're going to do the draw like we normally do. So why don't we jump in immediately into the topics? And as everybody knows and what we spoke about earlier, as we go through the topics, we'll kind of pause and then do a draw, keep going. We'll do a little bit of a halftime, a couple more draws, more topics, Guru of the Week, crush it with some more draws, and then jump into an after party.
Let's do it.
All right. So want to lead us in, Jesse, with first topic?
I absolutely would. So this first topic, it is sizzling hot. Thanks to our guests for helping us come up with these topics. So the first one is hold marketing accountable for revenue. And I was glad to introduce this one as a marketer myself. I think we absolutely do need to hold marketing accountable to revenue. And, we were talking a little bit about this pre-show, but, one of the things that I like to bring up is let's get marketers off the MQL hamster wheel and, really know the difference between vanity metrics and growth metrics. And there are, other metrics in addition to revenue to look at. And so we don't want to stop looking at, the total number of people who are filling out forms and coming through into the pipeline. But, we also want to make sure we're looking at, ratios of how many of those are actually converting from which channels and how do they not only get attributed from software, but how do they attribute themselves? How do they tell you this is how I heard of your company? And Zoe and I were sort of laughing before the show because we're like, sometimes people don't even really know, like they say they heard about you on Google first, but actually, that they heard about you word of mouth or somewhere else. So, it's all kind of funny, but that's what really comes to my mind when it comes to, holding marketing accountable with revenue. And I think this is one really great way that teams can align and bring marketing and sales together is by picking metrics that everybody agrees on and knowing where you can see those metrics. Is it in HubSpot and whatever dashboard, here's our main goal. Let's all know where we can measure it and keep our eye on it in real time. And yeah, it's up to marketers to make sure we're not just bringing in MQLs, but it's up to companies to make sure you're not just demanding MQLs and giving us, crazy goals like, hey, go write 5 blogs a week. And then it's just all this crappy content, like keep us focused on things that are actually bringing in revenue and give us time to find the right data that tells us and shows us what's bringing in revenue. And then of those customers, marketers, once we find out, okay, we're getting most of our leads through direct channels that report podcast and LinkedIn, cliche, right? Okay, so we're in B2B. Now we've figured that out. So now we're seeing customers flow through those channels. Now we want to look at those customers that are renewing. So out of those, which ones are renewing and, which ones are scaling. So I think that there's all ways that sales and marketing teams can align over this topic. But what do you think, Zoe?
Okay, wait. I feel like I was definitely listening, but that was a long stream of consciousness. What was like the succinct topic title one more time?
Holding marketing accountable or hold marketing accountable for revenue. That's what we really want to do.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. So I agree. Marketing should be held accountable to revenue. However, I recently changed my opinion on this. You guys get to hear me say this exact same thing twice. There was a time where I was like, MQLs should be out the door. Like, we don't need to measure MQLs whatsoever. And now I find myself in a situation on a team where we're like, it probably would be kind of nice if we had some MQLs to kind of take a look at like our leading versus lagging indicators, right? So should marketing be accountable to a revenue goal? Yes. But you really, really need to understand what channels are driving your leads in order to know where to double down. So if you're not tracking MQLs, if you're not tracking campaigns, if you don't have super clear, as much as you can, as much as marketing attribution, as my friend Amanda Nielsen says, marketing attribution, we literally made it up. As much as it's like kind of, ambiguous and nebulous, as much as you can track those things, it's going to be really, really helpful to know where to double down. Because like, if you don't know that paid ads are generating X pipeline or like what leads are converting well, then it's going to be really, really hard to know where to put your marketing dollars. So I would say, yes, accountable to revenue goals, but I would not do away with the MQL altogether. I think it's a helpful additional KPI to have for marketing teams.
Absolutely. I would agree. But because of that like ratio I was talking about earlier, like we still, like I was saying earlier, even like one of my favorite reports is the traffic analytics report on HubSpot, because it just shows you the breakdown, total number, traffic per channel, then total number of contacts that you created. So those are technically your MQLs, right? Then of those, how many converted to become customers? So yeah, like we still need that number, of course, because that's where those customers are going to come from. I think it all gets a bad name, maybe just because of the ebooks, and like gating content and bringing in leads who don't have an intent to buy. And I've told my sales team before at BDEX, like, I can bring in leads all day if that's what we want, but like, really, no, we want to filter it out to make sure they're having quality conversations. And I love the fact that like for B2B, like on your forms, you can block not like public email domains, for example. So you're only getting business emails. Like that's one good way to block all the Gmail junk, or the Yahoo junk. So like, yeah, there are ways I can crank up the volume on MQLs if that's what you really want, but I don't think that's what you really want. So there has to be a fine balance.
I'd love to hear Scott on this.
I really don't understand the all or nothing argument. If you run a sales org, you're accountable to revenue, and all of these other KPIs that you pay attention to, like how many calls you made, how many emails you sent, connections, how many demos you set, how many demos held, how many contracts you sent, how many of those contracts closed won and closed lost. Those are just all leading indicators and sort of the metrics to close and the conversion percentages therein that lead to revenue. But I'm ultimately not judged on how many dials my team made or how much fucking pipeline I built, nor should marketing be judged on all these leading indicators that they're in charge of, like an MQL and all this kind of stuff. How many visitors to the site, how many inbound leads. None of those things ultimately matter. The thing that matters is revenue. So what I don't understand and get defensive about as a sales leader is, how is marketing getting bonused or judged on all the KPI leading indicators and not the ultimate outcome of revenue. While I'm over here with all my comrades putting my head in a guillotine and getting fired in 15 to 18 months, while all my leading indicators look great, but our revenue number is off.
Okay, wait, question.
Connect.
Question. So this is interesting. Marketing, like when I think of revenue, I also think of like pipeline. Like marketers are usually like, well, once it's in the pipeline, like our part of the deal is done. So you're saying like closed one business, like marketing should be held accountable to that number as well, just to make sure like we're all on the same page.
100%.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't you?
That's the point.
Ultimately what matters. If you and I are on the same team, this is Eddie's company, you're the VP of marketing, I'm the VP of sales. We have one goal, right? Our goal this month is to do $1 million. I really don't fucking care how we get there. Truly. I don't care how much of that you do versus how much of it I do. I just care that we hit the number. You want true accountability and alignment amongst your executive team. You want marketing and sales not to be irritated with each other and all this kind of thing. Give them the same friggin' target. We get bonus the same way. We hit our target, we both get our bonus. Why would you get a little bonus just because you brought in the right number of inbound leads?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't get how much pipeline I bring in. That's crazy.
I feel like it would be like a midfielder in soccer being like, well, I got the ball 3/4 of the way down the field. It's like, who cares, guy? We never scored. So like we lost the game.
Nobody cares. And sometimes you win because the forward scored the goals. Sometimes you win because a defender went up on a corner kick and headed it in. Nobody really cares, ultimately, if you're a team. All that matters is, did we win? Did we score? Did we hit what we're supposed to do?
Yeah.
And without that, you end up with this disconnect. And so sales is over here like, well, you brought me crap leads, and marketing's over there going, no, I didn't. I brought you all these leads. You just couldn't close them. We're not going to have that same argument if the only thing that we're both judged on is the amount of revenue that we've brought in. It's an easy way to get rid of it, but marketers don't want to sign up for that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
They don't. No, there's a couple people now who are willing to, but overall they absolutely do not. I can't name 10 marketers who would sign up for that right now if you put the offer in front of them. You know why? Because the pressure goes up like a son of a bitch. All of a sudden, your head is in the same guillotine as mine, and your amount of tenure at your particular role is going to go way down. Because
I think I've heard of a lot of marketers saying they're the first to go.
That's hilarious. Show me the data on that.
I would also like to see that.
I'm always
people say that as well, and I just laugh at them.
Okay, you gotta cut budgets. Like, people don't want to spend their marketing budget, so they're cutting their marketing budget, and they look at the salespeople and they're like, the salespeople are bringing in revenue. We can't get rid of them. They have all these relationships.
That's different. I'm talking about exec level. So if it's your company, okay, and Eddie runs CS and Zoe runs marketing and I run sales, and revenue starts to go down, the first person getting fired is guess who? This fucking guy right here.
Yeah, they're looking at retention
and not Zoe.
No.
Yeah.
I just think
retention first.
There's no reason for that. Why should it always be that way?
Yeah, you're right.
Do you think marketers would sign up for it if they also had some kind of variable comp though? So to be held to revenue goal with zero bonus structure or zero variable comp, I'm not as excited about that. But if you're
they should have variable comp, and most VPs of marketing have some level of variable comp. It's just nowhere near as big as the VP of sales.
Well, it probably doesn't trickle down to ICs either, really.
No, it doesn't trickle down to ICs. I agree, but you certainly could find a way to do that. There's a certain percentage of revenue, okay, that is getting spent on, let's call it commissions. So you bring in $100. Somewhere between $20 and $30 is typically allocated, depending on a lot of factors like average contract value and LTV of the customer and that kind of thing. 20 to 30% is typically spent on some type of commissions. Right now, all you have to do is redistribute that kitty of 20 to 30%. You can find a way so an SDR gets paid, an SDR team lead gets paid, a VP of marketing, a frontline marketer. We have the percent to do this. We just right now skew it primarily one direction for absolutely no reason.
Well, because you guys bear all the responsibility right now.
Yeah,
all the accountability.
that's the reason I take on all the risk right
topic.
Yeah.
This topic is hot, and we are already 18 minutes into the show. Eddie, should we give away a prize?
Fuck yeah, we should.
now. Give away a prize to the person who says I only have one perspective. That's my favorite person so far. They should get a prize.
All right, so why don't we do this? So let's go ahead and start off with the Sass Bros sweater. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in something right here. Let me go in here and put a hashtag in. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is plug in hashtag Sass Bros in literally a second. There we go. So,
actually, no, we're not doing a hashtag today. We're doing @Sass Bros, period. Right?
Oh, we are. Okay, so let's just go do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Screw it.
Sorry.
So we'll do @Sass Bros.
Don't put anything else in your comment. Just put @Sass Bros. Tag them in it. Their company name on LinkedIn has a period at the end like that.
So let's go ahead and do that. So for anybody who's watching,
nice sweatshirt though. Look at that sweatshirt. It's so fly.
It is. Let me go ahead and just take off that. There we go. There we go. Okay, so for anybody who's watching right now, go ahead and just plug in @Sass Bros, SAASBROS. We're going to do the draw live within the next minute or two, but just go in right now into the comments. Just start plugging in @Sass Bros.
If you want that white sweatshirt, you better be putting in @Sass Bros. Yeah, that's right, Topher. I see you. Oh, I don't see a period though. So maybe when I was tagging it, when I tagged it, yeah, I see Mark's got a period and it's his.
Oh, no period needed. No period needed.
No, that's part of their name. So we want them to actually be tagged because their page is going to be blowing up. So if you actually tag them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have a period in my selection. So if you don't put a period, it might just be better. So don't put a period in this case.
So it looks like, so when you do tag them, there's not going to be the @. It's going to be Sass Bros, period. Like how Tom's is and how Emmanuel's is. But these are our raffle games. So yeah, like keep them coming. If you want to enter to win this Sass Bros sweatshirt, shoot, I want to win this Sass Bros sweatshirt.
So I don't think it's actually working because I'm not getting the entries that we did last time.
Oh, you're not? We tested the @ yesterday.
We have it too many different ways. We're doing like the dot at the end. I think in this case, we might have to just.
What did you put in there? So what would be better?
Just the @ and then Sass Bros. No period at the end. So
no period at the end.
Just @ Sass Bros. No period at the end. Go ahead and start plugging that in, and then we're going to do the draw in about exactly a minute and a half most. Any other comments though, as far as the topic that we just had about holding marketing accountable? That's a really heated topic.
Yeah. We could probably get into the next one because it's also a heated topic. Should we get into it?
Ooh. Product-led growth. So spicy.
Spicy hot. Yeah, we need some chili pipers.
Oh, I see people are still doing the dot. That's okay. They're coming in. They're coming in. That's perfectly fine.
So Eddie and I went live randomly last night just to test the @ on this. So if you caught us live.
There we go. Now people are starting. Oh, wow. They're getting wise to it. The numbers are climbing. Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Now we know what to do in the next shot. So why don't we just jump into the next topic? Jesse, you want to lead us in?
Sure. I can't remember who came up with this in our pre-show DM. Was it you, Scott? Does product-led growth kill outbound?
I don't think this one was me.
Okay.
I think that might have been. That was me, actually.
Is that you, Eddie?
I was going to say, was it Chris and then he just didn't show up to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's me. So I'm going to go ahead and say that was me. All right. So Zoe, what do you think? Is product-led growth truly killing outbound right now?
I think not having product market fit is killing outbound, but I think some product-led growth companies don't have product market fit, and that's a problem. I don't think it's killing outbound. I think it's, in theory, it should help outbound to like be able to give people, the ability to test drive a product. Like I think of a product like Scratchpad, which is super dope and helpful for me as like an individual salesperson, which I'm not anymore, but back in the day when I was, that would have helped me be really successful as a salesperson. I and now 3 of my buddies who are good at sales are using this product. We're seeing success. It's streamlining our process. And I go to my manager who's already been hit up by, AE at Scratchpad 3 times. And I'm like, we got to get this. Like, I just think it helps kind of push things over the edge, in my opinion. However, I think a lot of product-led growth companies don't have product market fit yet. And they're trying to use product-led growth to find product market fit. And I think that is just killing everybody. But that's a different topic.
The first sentence was a great quote. I hope you go back and steal your own sentence there and talk more about it. And that was the really kind of hot.
That was good.
Yeah, we need to elaborate a little bit more on that, Zoe. That was fire. How about this? Why don't I do the draw right now, and then we jump right into that sentence? What do you think?
Do it.
Let's do that. Let's do that draw. And then we can just jump back into that. As far as product fit, like we were talking about before. So let's go share screen. All right, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the draw.
Here they go. Here's everybody who got it in there accurately, or at least the way Eddie typed it in there.
Oh, Mark
Matt, congratulations. You're getting
your Mark
sweatshirt. Woo!
All right, Mark, congratulations on winning the SAS Pro sweater. So what I'm going to do is connect you after the show with Darren and his brother, of course, Eric, so that they can get that shipment done. And then from that point, of course, just write about it in a post and how you want it for Redditing. But anyways, let's get off of that right now. So Zoe, why don't we jump back in? Let's talk about that first sentence with product fit.
I already forgot what my first sentence was. Can somebody tell me?
Yeah.
Lack of product market fit is killing outbound.
Right. Yeah, totally. Oh my gosh, totally. I feel so bad for sellers right now who are really sexy brands that don't have product market fit, because you can have a big old brand and get people to take a look at your product. I think brand and outbound and marketing is really good to earn the conversation, but if you don't have a good product to back it up, like when you actually go to sell the thing, it's like really a bummer. And if your product is like, as Scott said before, as Amy said before, like a vitamin or like a nice to have versus a painkiller, you're gonna have a really hard time, especially in this market, getting budget for a nice to have. Like nobody needs that. So I think like product market fit is the bigger problem than PLG. I just think a lot of PLG companies right now don't have product market fit.
Yeah. It's a controversial potential take. I hope PLG kills outbound. You know why? Because outbounding sucks.
Oh,
Outbounding sucks.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. Nobody loves the outbound, especially now when everybody gets 9,000 emails, 47 calls, and 10 text messages, and I can't use my LinkedIn inbox. I don't want to outbound. I worked very hard being good at outbound initially so I could not have to do it again. So I could just coach and teach and build and strategize and become an executive. Joke's on me. It never went away. I still had to figure out how to outbound. Then I started building my brand and all my businesses to such a point where I didn't have to outbound for my consulting business. Everything would just be word of mouth and referral and all that kind of thing. That's the ideal situation if you can create that kind of draw and that kind of inbound and the volume of inbound like that. So I think it would be fantastic. Is it realistic? No, I don't think it's realistic. I think PLG is sort of the flavor of the month. I'm old enough to remember when everybody said that the SDRE model would kill outbound. That didn't happen. And I don't think that PLG will kill outbound. I think that PLG is just a new way to bring people in the door. Maybe the definition of outbound changes. Just because somebody showed up, started using your product, they don't automatically buy. This is why companies like Slack have massive sales organizations, because somebody eventually ends up having to pick up the phone or sending an email and reaching out to people saying, hey, you've been using this product for a little while. Let's talk.
Jess, you're on mute.
I was just saying, you have a lot of people in the comments agreeing with you there, Scott. Noted Jesse Owlett saying, it does suck, Scott. You're right. Couple others in there asking about connectivity.
I think we're just being honest. Like outbounding is really, really hard. It was really hard 20 years ago. It's really hard today. Arguably harder today than it's ever been before. So I don't think any salespeople would be mad if, like, you know, all of a sudden they didn't have to outbound anymore and they had enough inbounds coming their way, right? So anyway.
I'm in no disagreement with that. We talked about exactly this, about 6 or 7 episodes ago, about how everybody's pretty much using the same lists, all the same decision makers. These exact decision makers are being bombarded by all of these callers or all of these sellers. So at the end of the day, what I think is happening, and I remember somebody said this to me a long time ago, the people that you're calling, these purchasers, are better negotiators than you are. Because in reality, they're negotiating all day long where you're not actually negotiating as much as they are. But when you have these lists that everybody are using and you're bombarding the same people over and over and over, it's programming them to move away from receiving all of these outbounds that you're trying to do, which is why they're trying to find you instead of you trying to find them. So I agree with everything that everyone's saying. It is getting a ton harder, and everyone's trying to find this new thread to be able to reach out to these prospects or these decision makers. But we're living with what we have right now. You can multi-thread as much as you want, but until something new arises, everybody's doing the exact same thing. And anytime that something new arises, like let's say video, everybody jumps on the bandwagon and everybody starts doing it. So then you see one person's like, oh, I'm enlightened. I just got a video from this random salesperson. How cool is this? Then randomly 2 months later, 17 people sends a video. So it's not cool because it's recurring so often.
You know what's cool to me is when salespeople connect with me in communities and they actually build a relationship with me, and then I feel like the trust gap just gets closed, and I understand who they are.
Well, there was actually a really cool thing at Inbound that they just put up on LinkedIn talking about these progression in ages of what I think in 2010, whatever it was. But now we've went from this product-led growth a couple of years ago to now community-led growth selling. So you can definitely see the shift, and everybody's talking about community-led growth.
We measure community-driven pipeline.
Tell us about that, Zoe. Can you tell us more? I know.
Yeah, it's something I had to kind of arbitrarily make up when I got there because my job is community, and I wanted to tie myself to pipeline and revenue because I want to keep my job. And so I just started measuring it like another channel for attribution. So we partner with a community called Thursday Night Sales, another community that Scott co-runs. And when I talk to somebody from that community who sees us because we're involved in Speckit and we're involved in TNS and we're participating as Speckit as a brand, and they reach out to me and say, hey, I've seen you on TNS a couple of times, curious if what you do could help our team. And I pass that over to the sales team. That's community driven pipeline. When that closes, it's community driven revenue. 2 of our key deals from last quarter came from community-driven pipeline sources. One of them was Thursday Night Sales. So I'm trying to track those things partly because I want to double down on the channels that work, and also partly because while it is a long game, it's like social selling. It's like building a relationship in any other way. It's not the easiest route to close a deal, but I would say that community source deals, from the little data we have a shorter sales cycle because all the work is that upfront relationship building. But I think we are overcomplicating the outbound process. Scott showed me a DM he sent today to a prospect that was so good. It was personal. It was it was quick. It was a master class in the way you would outbound to somebody.
I'm thinking we might have to give that away along.
Can I see?
Can I see? All right. What do y'all think that we give away another prize?
Let's do it, Eddie.
So this one was super popular last week. So the Fathom swag box, as you all saw, so it's behind me here in the box to this side, comes with the hat. Give me a second, I'll show it to you because everybody wanted to see it last time.
Are we going to be doing @Fathom? Because that's what I pre-programmed.
I think so. So for everybody who saw it last time, you get the Fathom hat. And of course, you get this beautiful shirt here. Luckily, I have it live, so you can actually see exactly what it looks like. So you get the Fathom shirt and the Fathom hat. And you get a nice little card in there too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start right now. I'm going to plug in the hashtag Fathom. Well, wait for me. Give me just one moment. There we go. Let's go ahead and press Fathom. For for anybody who's right now watching, go ahead and just put hashtag Fathom in the comments. It's hashtag FATHOM. I'm going to give that away in about 2 minutes, but just start jumping in those comments right now. Don't wait. Do not wait. All right, let's jump back into that topic. If not, we can get into halftime, put a nice little video for Fathom. But I definitely want to jump into that a little bit more. Jesse, what are your thoughts on what they both said? On mute again. You're killing me with that mute, Jess.
I'm
mute.
mute tonight. I think it's because I'm tired. We were up till like 1 or something talking about tonight. So anyway, yeah, I think I stated my opinion, which was like community, like I like personally community-led growth. I can't remember how I got into that, which led into what Zoe was saying, but yeah, I think we could probably get into the prize. I hope everybody's putting in @Fathom in the comments so that they can.
No, it's hashtag. It's hashtag Fathom.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag Fathom.
All right, everybody. Hashtag Fathom. Because we put on the screen and we mentioned earlier @, but he, I think, put into the program already hashtag. So
Yes, I did. It's already hashtag.
All right. So hashtag Fathom, and you can win that awesome box with that awesome shirt and the awesome hat. Everybody go check out Fathom too. It's a pretty cool company. Eddie introduced me to them.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, should we move it? We have some sizzling hot topics. I feel like we can move into topic 3.
What do you think we take like a minute break? We put on the halftime video for Fathom, and then that way we can get a couple of signups for it, and then we can jump back into topic 3. What does everybody think?
I think so. And in the meantime, that gives everybody a chance to go type in hashtag Fathom to enter to win that Fathom box.
Beautiful. So we'll see everybody in about exactly 90 seconds. Do not stop. Plug in hashtag Fathom. We're going to give away that swag box in about exactly 90 seconds to 2 minutes. See everybody soon.
See you soon.
Hi, I'm Richard White, founder of Fathom. And if you're on a lot of Zoom calls like I am, I'd love for you to check out our product and let me know what you think. Let me show you briefly how it works. We built Fathom because I was frustrated with trying to take notes and talk to people at the same time, as well as realizing those notes were never as impactful as that initial conversation. So Fathom's an app, a free app for Zoom, that records your calls, transcribes your calls, and gives you this helpful control panel to highlight the important moments of the call. So instead of trying to reach for my keyboard and type up some notes when I hear something interesting, I simply click on one of these customizable buttons. After the call is over, you get instant access to the call recording, your transcript, and all of the parts that you highlighted. So that you can go in and write up a note, if you'd like, an auto-generated call summary that you could share with your team, or have that call summary automatically synced over to your CRM. Finally, you can even take any of these clips, send them to a colleague, because we give you kind of an individual share link for each highlight, or have them automatically synced into Slack in real time. So that's Fathom, a one-stop shop for you to basically not have to take notes on your next Zoom call and have a little less stress in your day. We'd love for you to check it out at fathom.video. Again, it's a free product and would love your feedback.
All right, so that was Fathom. So what I did is I put in a link inside the comment. This is our invite link so that we can try to measure exactly how much engagement comes from Whiskey Wednesday. So if you do want to check it out, go into the comments, press that link. I would tell you, look, it's completely free. Doesn't cost you a penny, and it does wonders. I use it every single day. So let's go ahead and pick the winner for the swag box. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
Hashtag Fathom. Real quick, everybody, go.
All right, let's go ahead and share the screen.
Here we go. This is my favorite part. Who's he going to choose? It's going so slow.
Topher.
Oh,
Topher.
Topher. Wow, congratulations, Topher.
You know, we didn't put the music on this time. Usually we put like the music blaring.
Oh, that's what we were missing. Okay, okay. I'll do the music next time when you're ready.
What was that about? It was just like so calm. It should not be this calm.
I don't know why that thing went so slow that time.
I have no idea. But nonetheless, Topher
is a super fan. He was the last man standing at our after party last week, besides Eddie. Both of them lasted longer than me. So congratulations, Topher. You deserve it.
Awesome job. So why don't we jump in immediately into the third topic? Jesse,
topic number 3. Is sales or marketing more important for growth? Scott, would you like to kick us off on this one? I think we all know what you're going to say.
Do we know what I'm going to say?
I don't know. Do we?
Let's ask Lydia what I'm going to say, because I have one opinion, one perspective of everything. That might be the way to go. I actually don't know the answer to this. I think it very much depends on what stage of company you're at, what your product is, what your go-to-market strategy is. I mean, if you're an early stage company with a PLG strategy, then marketing is more important for growth than sales. I would argue. But if you are not a PLG type of company and you don't have a marketing department or anybody kind of running that stuff or doing demand gen, but you do have a couple people outbounding and prospecting, those people are generating interest, building pipeline. So that initial sales motion is going to be more important for growth. I spent most of my career in very, very early stage, like seed stage companies where we're trying to get our first couple of customers. No marketing support whatsoever. So in order for us to keep the lights on, you could argue, we had to build pipeline and close deals. So sales would be more important. If you're a publicly traded company, I don't know. I never worked at a publicly traded company before. Would they say that sales is more important than marketing for growth? So this is one of those questions for me where the answer requires a lot more context, I think, and differs depending on who you are, what you're up to, what size company, what stage company, all this kind of stuff. So that was my Swiss level neutrality answer right there. Zoe?
Very, very good answer.
Scott's definitely right. I think it's the stage the company is in and also what they're trying to offer. And of course, what stage you're in. So maybe we need to reframe the question. If let's say we looked at small business or startups, and let's just say it's a SaaS product, what would be more important, sales or marketing?
I mean, I think it still depends on the type of product, right? Like if it's a really transactional product, you could just have some really good website copy that converts. Like if the product is low price point, transactional, it could still be SaaS, but you may not need a team of salespeople. You might just need the guy who built the product to like answer support questions, and like you can build a business that way. I have friends who do. But if it's a more strategic sale, if it's a more complicated product, if there's an implementation that needs to happen, like having somebody guide you through. I think also like it depends on, has the category existed for a long time? Do people need more education on like what the heck the thing is and how it helps them? So I think it's still like a really nuanced question. I actually don't feel strongly one way or another. I think you could, I'll say this. I think you can get away with not having marketing. If you don't have somebody who can close deals, your company is going to go under pretty quick. So I think like somebody who can close a sale and like acquiring customers, like a lot of marketing hinges on customer stories, expansion hinges on like customer marketing, but all of that comes from already closed deals. So maybe I'll take a controversial take and say sales is more important even as a marketer, but I also really think it depends on the product and type of sale.
No, I'll stand with you. I'll stand with sales. And I'm not saying it in a way where it's like, for me, it'd be a ratio more like 60-40. It's definitely not skewed towards something like 20, like 80-20. The way I view it is, and I have a great example. So I was working with a friend of mine that has a SaaS startup, and they have great copy, beautiful marketing. Like their website is absolutely gorgeous. Now, they're in a world that's quite competitive. The product that they have, there's tons of competition out there. Look at it from, let's say, SEO perspective or trying to drive traffic through forums or whatever, maybe even email marketing. They're doing what everybody else is doing already. So what I had suggested at the time is they already had existing clients, not a lot of them, but you definitely want to try to go into some kind of feedback loop so that they can start ranking in specific places where people can find them that are looking for products like this. But at that point, I said, once you do that, start looking at more of like a cross-sell, upsell option. And then from there, try to take some of those funds, hire somebody in sales and try to ramp that up as far as revenue. And it did work phenomenally well. I mean, I'm biased because of that reason and also other reasons, of course. But I saw that work for that specific company. I don't have experience in other than that one specifically, but that's how I view it, at least.
Great point. All right. Well, I'll take this one on. I think, Scott, you nailed it in terms of like what level is the company, is it Series A, is it pre-seed, is it a public company? But like, I'll go ahead and take the side of marketing. So, marketing is sales at scale. And it's going to become that more and more, just as we were complaining earlier. Sales calls are horrible. It's not an easy thing to do. It's really hard to be in the trenches with email deliverability right now in terms of cold outbound. But marketing can be that catalyst that sends your sales figures into the stratosphere. So, it's the perfect medium to help you close deals. But to Zoe's point, I think this is where marketers, it's okay for us to freshen up our sales skills, because if we are able to close deals, then, if you're in that early stage startup, like Scott was talking about, where you are product-led growth, you don't really need a sales team yet. And that's where marketers get to thrive, right? So I think Scott was right on in terms of like, this can't be applied to all companies, but being that we mostly, I think, have B2B SaaS startups in our audience, I'll go ahead and say that, marketing is more important for growth. How about that for some controversy? I would love to hear what the audience in the comments has to say about that.
Well, I saw Emily's post, which I thought was interesting, her comment about like marketing-minded salespeople, sales-minded marketers. Like, I think that's
marketers
more.
We just talked about last week. That's exactly what we just talked about last week, how salespeople need to but it would be good to have a mix of salespeople be good in marketing and vice versa, where marketing people can have a good mix of sales, let's say acumen, because it truly will carry them forward and a lot further. That's a great point there.
Honestly, it's why Eddie and I jive. Like, he does marketing, he helps with the videos, but I closed a deal, so like we're a dynamic duo in that sense. Like, we're both marketers. We like to joke.
So on that topic with Scott, what do you think if we give away your prize? I'm pretty excited about that. So how about this? Why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about what it is? That way I can plug in the hashtag, and I'll go ahead and just put up the picture right here.
It's hashtag untethered. It's accurate this time on the screen.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug it in immediately in here for untethered. So Scott, why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is? And it's already plugged in.
The idea is to help people who are significantly far along in their career come up with a blueprint, and a plan for kind of starting to create, build out, and grow side hustles until that side hustle income matches your regular kind of W-2 income, which potentially gives you the path and the freedom to cut the cord and go all in on yourself. Entrepreneur, solopreneur, all that kind of thing. So I spent the better part of 2 decades building and scaling sales orgs, started building up side hustles and different businesses along the way. And so this is coming from experience. I'm just kind of rolling out how I thought about it, how I did it. So I put together both a newsletter and a course to walk people through this. It's a series of videos as well as written content. And nobody on planet Earth yet knows about this other than about a dozen or 2 friends that I've sought advice from. My good friend and previous co-author Ryan Walker has helped me put this together. Definitely could not have done it without him. And I'll be announcing it a little bit tomorrow to a couple hundred people in some of my communities, but literally the folks on this call right now, Whiskey Wednesday, are the first people that are really hearing about this and getting a chance to take a look at it. So I'm going to give one of these courses away.
Like, do you all see how much we care about you? Like, come on now. So look, he wasn't just this generous. Scott gave us 1 for free to the lucky winner of tonight, but also until tomorrow evening, if you plug in Whiskey Wednesday, 1 word, into the link that I'm going to put in after I do the draw, you're going to get 40% off. That's right. It's 40% off, right, Scott?
That's right.
You're going to get 40% off the original price, which is $199. So it's going to take off $50 from the original price. So once we do the draw, I'll plug in the link. And then from now until tomorrow evening, if you plug in Whiskey Wednesday, 1 word, no space in the middle, you get that 40% off. So
Wait, I gotta ask, is Tommy Guns in the comments? Because, you know, in the after party, he's always talking about multiple streams of income. So, you know, I feel like Tommy Guns, make sure you get that hashtag untethered on there.
Oh, he did. He's been doing it like 2-3 times now.
Oh, okay, good.
Crushing right now. He loves that shit. So look, Tom's talked to me. What do I say? I mean, multiple times about both of you. When he knew that you were coming on, he had nothing but amazing things to say. And he thought this was like the dynamic duo. And we were so glad because, you know, it just made sense to everybody. So why don't we go ahead and do the draw? I'm pretty sure at this point, unless it's changed. Oh, never mind. It's still going. Keep plugging in untethered. All right, let me take that off. Why don't we just continue into the subject? What do you think?
Yeah,
let's do it.
All right. There we go.
All right. So, well, it is 9:48. Should we get into our fourth topic? Was there anything else? Let me see. I'll pull up number 3. Was there anything else anyone wanted to say, or is sales or marketing more important for growth?
I think I'm good.
All right.
There.
All right. So then in this case,
this last topic we have here, who should own outbound, sales or marketing? Da-da-da. Who wants to take this one?
Okay, so
go ahead, Eddie.
No. So funny enough, you incepted this. So I would love to see what you have to say about it. I know what we talked about in our own DM, but I want to hear you elaborate on it because it's. I know it's going to be fascinating. I truly do.
Well, I think we got lost in translation a little bit. It was more of like, who should the SDR group, the BDR group report into and kind of own that function? Should it be sales or should it be marketing?
Yeah.
And I think historically it's been sales. I think a few times now, a little bit more and more, I'm hearing SDR and BDR teams report into marketing because they're sort of top of funnel and that kind of thing. So here's the big differentiator for me. If you are thinking about having your SDR or BDR group report into marketing, you better make sure that whoever is in charge of marketing has done sales before in some capacity, who understands building out a proper sales process and is familiar with selling and wants to manage that team and run that team, is capable of coaching and giving them guidance and advice. That's the thing that I think is the key differentiator. You can't just toss the SDR group to marketers that know a darn thing about selling. Similarly, there's all sorts of things about marketing that I don't know. I would never say, give me all of the marketing group, because I don't know anything about it. I don't know how to manage those folks. It wouldn't make any sense. So if you have a marketer, if you're blessed with a marketer who knows sales, and there's a few that I can think of off the top of my head. Kyle Lacey is one, for example. Another one is Daryl Prail. These are some of the names that I'm thinking of. They've run sales orgs before. They've done sales. They've been in a CRO seat before, running multiple departments. There it makes sense to me. If you're trying to shove this SDR team to a marketing leader who doesn't know anything about sales, coach, teach, train on it, I think you're in big, big trouble.
I only have one thing that I want to mention about this. I think outbound, when it comes to something digital, as far as the emails, should be owned by marketing. I think when it comes to something verbal, like cold calling, I think it should be owned by salespeople. One reason I say this is because the last place I worked at the SaaS company I was with, one thing that was pretty cool that they had done, oh shit, we have a special guest with us in a second, but one thing that they had done that was pretty cool is they were using the marketing department, and they were using, of course, a third-party SaaS tool to use our email to send out outbound email sequences. And funny enough, some of it was good, some of it was terrible, but nonetheless, they were doing a lot of the legwork, and then we were getting a lot more inbound from it. And then we would, of course, start setting up all the discos and demos from that point. That turned things around for me. From having to talk to so many SDRs in the past and so many BDRs that were doing a lot of their own email work, shifted me away and started thinking, why wouldn't it be like this? Why shouldn't it be like this? Where marketers are taking advantage of their copy skills and putting out all the sequences and leaving the SDRs and BDRs to take care of everything else to book the meetings.
Uh-oh.
So before Karen jumps in with it, why don't I give away the prize? So let me give away Scott's prize. And by the way, based on what I said, I'd love to get your feedback. If it's already being done on scale, please let me know. This is just one experience that I had, but would love to know everybody's opinion. I'm going to go ahead and give away the prize. Ryan Walker, thank you for including that link in there. I'm going to include it again just in case. But let me go ahead and give away Scott's blueprint right now. What do you think, Part? Should we put on some music?
All right. Yep, that's right.
Let's do it.
Up this crowd. Where is everybody? Put your hashtag. Oh, Karen's gonna bring the tunes for me. Karen, where's your anthem? Did you hear that anthem? Oh my gosh. Oh,
What's up, Zach?
What up, Zach?
Congrats, Zach.
Congratulations, Zach.
This is awesome.
Oh man. If you guys haven't heard Karen's anthem, by the way, you're gonna want to check out Ryan Reisert's page. It's hilarious. But Karen, welcome to the show, Karen. How's it going tonight? Hey there, Karen. Karen, I'd like you to meet our new friends. Karen.
What's going on?
You got a little bit of an echo, Karen. What's going on, Karen?
I can't hear you, Karen.
Hold on 1 second. I have to fix my mic. I think it got broken. I was screaming so loud in it.
Oh,
I'm really upset right now, though. Hold on. Let me get the echo down a little bit. Is it a little bit better now?
yeah, that's better, Karen. Tell us, why were you upset?
Well, I go on SaaS websites and I download ebooks. And I can't get these pesky SDR pukes to stop calling me on my personal cell phone. And I hate it. And it's these data providers. It's Brandon Morenstein, Henry Schuck. It's all I am so angry. They won't take me off their list. I want to be taken off the list. Take me off your list, SaaS kids. I don't want to be called. It's people like Ryan Reisart and these phone-ready morons that keep calling and calling my cell phone, and I don't like it. I download ebooks. I don't want to be called. I got a big HR department to run here.
Okay, Karen. Oh, I thought you were in, I don't know why I thought maybe you were in PR, but I guess you're in HR.
HR, Jesse, come on. This is my 5th time being on the show. Wake up a little bit over there.
I know, but I don't know why. Okay, so Karen, you had a lot to say last week. Has everything calmed? Or it wasn't last week. We missed you last week. I don't know where you were. Maybe little Johnny was on the soccer field or something. But the week before that, you were kind of like getting a little wild.
Yeah, I just can't stand the SaaS kids. I mean, they keep calling my phone. And I'm glad most of them are getting fired at these companies because,
that's horrible, Karen.
We didn't say that shit before.
Brutal.
That's horrible.
I mean, it's great because they're not going to call me as much, but they still got those robo-dialers coming at me hot with these guys like Ryan Reisart and the phone-ready guys and the connector sellers guys, Jerry and the rest of the gang over there. They keep calling my personal cell phone. I'll be on the soccer field with little Johnny, and I think I've mentioned this a couple of times on the show. And they keep calling it. He's about ready to score a goal. I'm with my husband Belson, and he's angry. He doesn't like SDRs. He writes that yellow book, the one that death to all the SDRs. You know which guy I'm talking about. And anyways, I just really don't like.
He's on next week, Karen. Nelson Gilead, death to the SDRs. He'll be on the show next week.
Him and I are in a committed relationship.
Nice.
And we both hate the SaaS kids.
I wonder what he's going to say about that next week.
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting though. But anyways,
I'm with you.
I download ebooks. I mean, I know there's some people in the chat that like ebooks. Lydia, I'm sure Lydia likes ebooks. Sure a bunch of people out there like those ebooks. And I'm downloading ebooks like you wouldn't believe, and the SaaS kids call us. And I don't like it. And I get really angry when they call me.
What do our guests think about Karen? So we thought, what do you think?
I just am shocked her husband's name is not Todd.
Oh, it's too good. I mean,
Now, Scott, you're a nice young man, and you've ran some great sales teams. What did you do with all these SaaS kids? How many of them did you pip out of these corps?
Probably all of them. You know, I'm like Adam. That's how old I am. Adam is there. All SaaS, I'll take responsibility. We'll get you off all of their lists.
Well, the only list I want the SaaS kids on is those PIP lists. That's what the HR departments out here are taking care of. We're getting those PIPs out fast.
Yeesh.
just doling out.
You got to handle that one now, Zoe.
Zoe, what do you think? Push back.
First of all, Karen, stop downloading ebooks if you're not my customer. God, you're looking at my AOL numbers.
This is a problem, and I'm really sad about it. I just think some of these ebooks are really interesting, and I really like them.
But for why? Why do you need so many?
They've got pretty graphics, and they some of them are free, right? And usually I have to pay for ebooks. Good ones like Scott writes, I mean, they're expensive. So
Totally. Okay, well then maybe start putting in a fake phone number because I'm pretty sure these people are getting your phone number.
Well, I think they get it from Zoom and that Ferrari guy, that Seamless founder guy, the guy who's always driving around. The Ferrari guy is always giving out my mobile number. And I want him to come on the show, and I want to talk to him about his company. I told him to take me off his list. I'm on the do not call list. The government do not call list.
They're welcome to come on the show. We would love to hear from them and, hear what they would have to say to Karen. That would be really interesting.
I'm going to do another prize. I'm just going to do one just because.
We've got another prize to give out. Eddie's.
Eddie, you going to be able to pay all these prizes?
What, sorry?
Why don't you give me a prize, Eddie? Huh?
You've got enough ebooks. What do you need prizes for?
Come on.
Jesus. All right. So these two shirts come from two new founders. Sorry, it comes from two new founders, Tom Slocum and Lauren Sermon. They created a company called Sassy Sales Shirts. So what you see on my screen here, one of them is the white. It's for the women's version, sass with a beautiful flower in the middle. The other one is for cold calling, which you can actually just says cold calling, going vertically. And we want to give them away. They were very nice to us. They're friends of ours, and they wanted to contribute, and we love them for it. So what we're going to do is we want you to plug in #sassy inside of the comments like now. #sassy, SAASY. I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the comments right now. Just go ahead and have some fun. Just ransack the comments. And let's give them away. Let's support them too.
Yeah, I'm going to put in #Karen. Karen, we want to hear more.
You have the recent video that was dropped? I think you might.
Ryan Reisert's video? Yes, it's amazing, Karen.
You haven't, I'm thinking about, getting a single out there, and then I can really show these SaaS kids what's going on, show them how to rap.
I think you need to speak your truth, Karen. Just go out there and be yourself,
Yeah, well, listen, the reason I'm on the show, I got to go. I got a very busy schedule. I got an HR department way over here. Listen, I just want to tell everybody on this call, if you're one of the SaaS kids, stop calling my personal cell phone. I really, really don't like it. And to all those data providers selling my mobile number, please take me off your list, okay? It's illegal to call people. And I'm going to post about it on LinkedIn. And I'm mad.
So for those who are listening still, it's not sassy with 2 S's. It's sassy with it's not with 3 S's. It's SAASY. So go ahead and plug in SAASY. #SAASY. I'm just seeing some people that are doing SASSY. I didn't program it for that. So go ahead and just do it again for the 20th time. #SAASY.
Is it just me or is Karen hilarious?
It does make this like a segment of the show uncomfortable yet really fun. I gotta say,
Our audience loves
it's
her.
awkward
That's
as
why
fuck, but like,
somebody made an anthem. I don't know what was that song. Was that a Notorious B.I.G. song or something like that? Was it a Biggie? I don't know. But there's Karen rapping, and it's hilarious. So follow Ryan Reiser to find that video. I digress.
perfect. So it looks as though we got to the fourth topic. Is there any other comments from either of our brilliant guests this evening concerning who should own outbound, sales or marketing?
Zoe has opinions.
Sales.
Zoe thinks everything.
Marketing.
Sales should own outbound. However, I think it's helpful if you have a marketing team and an enablement team to kind of like supplement. So to a point, Eddie, like about written comms, problem with that is one, copywriting is like a superpower. So if SDRs can learn how to copyright, like I wouldn't want to take away that learned skill from them, because that's the only reason I have a career, is because I was forced to copyright as an SDR and why I'm in marketing now. Two, I spent my entire day, like 10 hours, writing 11 sales sequences for our sales team. There's still room for personalization. They're still gonna like, do some of their own stuff, but like, that's just a supplement. Like nobody reports to me. I'm just sort of helping them out because I know how to copyright, because I learned when I was an SDR and I reported to sales. So I would say having sales report to marketing, if the marketing leader has never done sales before, is a disservice to the SDR, because typically speaking, SDRs, not the only path, but want to be AEs. A lot of SDRs want to be AEs. It's not the only route, but it is a common route. And so if you don't have time with sales leaders, with AEs on the sales floor, and you're spending all that time with marketing, like you're not really learning the skills you need to like go into your next role. So I would say from like an SDR perspective, career-wise, SDRs should report to sales. They should learn how to copyright. Marketing and sales enablement should supplement them to help them be successful. But those are my very strong opinions.
Cool. Why don't we give away the prize? What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Done. All right. So let's go ahead and give away the 2 shirts. This is, of course, great if you're in a couple. Let me go ahead and share my screen here.
Like Jesse with a wig or something. Karen needs to be physical. Okay, interesting.
Did I just enter myself?
Oh, we need some music. Oh, it's almost Guru of the Week.
Oh, no. I have to redraw that.
Can't win.
I can't win. Let me just go ahead and draw that again.
Guru of the Week. Oh, Guru of the Week.
Zach.
Winner.
Zach is crushing it tonight.
Man, I didn't know you could win twice on this show. I need to come up.
Did Zach win twice?
Yeah, he won twice, and that's
there's
no limit to it. There's no limit to it.
Software is random.
All right, so Zach, congratulations on the 2 shirts. You're fucking crushing it tonight, buddy. All right, so let's get into Guru of the Week. I think we have a consensus between our 2 guests.
Yeah, can you guys should we do a little drum roll? I usually do Guru of the Week. Oh, Guru of the Week. Okay. Lois, who is your Guru of the Week?
Well, I think Zoe and I are in agreement that the Guru of the Week is Ryan Walker. Ryan has been a VP of sales, director of sales a couple times. One of the things that I have been impressed with in terms of his content lately is this creative structuring of his posts, where it sort of starts out as like 1 or 2 words and it progressively increases. And so it shows up like a letter, like an L, or it does the opposite, starts from the bottom as long and goes to the right. It's just like, I'm very into like different kind of structured posts and people getting creative with how they're passing out content and that kind of thing. So that's my Guru of the Week. And Zoe, you want to explain why you feel that way?
I love Ryan Walker, not only because he's an excellent, sales leader and is putting out some great content that I personally think is underrated, but also because he's like just a good human. Like I read a post by him earlier in the week that was about like, he was basically just like calling out dudes for being creepy at conferences. And I was like, yeah, Like, that's awesome. And Ryan has always been like a really solid guy in like the communities that I've been around. And he's always been really supportive and just like a champion for change in that way. And I just like appreciate that from any leader. But yeah, I really think that he's excellent at what he does. He's a great leader and somebody worth following.
So I'm trying to tag him right now in the comments. Ryan Walker. There's several of them. Is he follow me for posts on navigating the trenches of startup sales and leadership, I'm guessing? I'm going to go ahead and tag him in there. Everybody should follow him.
And while you do that, why don't I give away the Sam Sales Prize? Does everybody think?
Hashtag Sam Sales, everybody. That's an easy one.
So if you do want to go in there, you can actually plug in a comment. Only us, me and Jesse can't win. So if you do want one of those, I was trying to tell you that. I said,
oh,
I was saying,
win then.
Whatever. Next time.
Well, you know what? I'll find whatever prize you want. I will find a way to get it for you.
Thank you.
What?
I already bought Scott's course, so
you already got Scott's course. So just DM me after saying I want this. I will find a way to get it for you. You don't even have to.
All right.
All right. So why don't I give away the Sam Sales course? This thing is a masterclass in LinkedIn. So, I mean, she's been on our show already. She's professed much, and I'm sure tons of people already know her that are watching right now. So why don't we go ahead and just put it in as exactly her hashtag, which is, Sam Sales. So if you do want this masterclass in LinkedIn, then I want you to go in there and just press hashtag Sam Sales.
Pamela got it right. Be like Pamela. Put in a hashtag Sam Sales. This is a good one. Hashtag Sam Sales.
Absolutely. Just go ahead and put in hashtag Sam Sales. I had a chance to talk to, of course, Samantha McKenna, and she had given me a small breakdown of what it is. And I got to tell you, it's quite fascinating. It's quite elaborate. And once you're done, I mean, if you're not a master at LinkedIn, I'd be quite surprised. So go ahead and just plug in Sam Sales, hashtag Sam Sales. So other than that, I think we have another 2 gifts to give. It's the first time we've actually gone a little less. We need more time. We got more stuff to give away. So
that's okay. Let's just tell people the hashtag so they can start plugging them in and what those gifts are. Eddie, you want to?
Yeah. I mean, I can't necessarily do that back to back because it'll only run one at a time. But you know what? Why don't we just do this? So in the comments, we'll just select somebody randomly. The other one that we're going to be giving away is a course by Troy Barter. This is a full tech sales course. I actually bought it myself. He gave me a pretty cool discount code. I'm already into it and I love it. I mean, I'm learning new things. And I've always said, even if you've been in sales for 20, 30 years, it doesn't matter. It's nice to see somebody else's perspective. A lot of things you don't know, of course, are going to be shown. So if you do want this prize, in the comments, just put hashtag Roy in this case, and I'll be able to just select it while we're trying to do the Sam Sales one. So just hashtag Troy.
So our guests, Sam Sales and Troy, are you familiar with them? I feel like in our pre-show, we were talking about Troy a little bit. Eddie, you said, I can't remember that he came out of something, but.
He comes out of tech sales.
Tech sales, that's right.
He comes out of tech sales. He was talking about it actually in the beginning of these courses, how he was part of 2 or 3 different SaaS companies where he entered early and he was able to have a large amount of shares. And when he made his exit, it was a very lucrative exit. And then from that point on, what he did is he became, he was a leader in these companies, of course. But now he decided to go off on his own, be a consultant, and start creating courses for SDRs, BDRs, and AEs. And this is one of them. Like I said, it's quite elaborate. It has a ton of juicy information. So if you do want to, just go ahead and press hashtag Troy, and I'll just select somebody randomly in the comments, and then we'll just give it away. Other than that, I think the last one is the Heels to Deals. So this one, what we could do is go ahead.
I want to give our audience a little more time to type in those hashtags Sam Sales and hashtag Troy. But Scott, I saw you put in our private message that you might have to dip to say goodnight to the kids. So I wanted to thank you again so much for coming on. I know it was like last minute. We were in our DMs. It was super cool. Very smooth. So thank you so much. And yes, Tequila Tuesday did come before Whiskey Wednesday. We said we'd say it live.
Thank you all. Thank you all for having me. A lot of fun. Love what you all are doing. Super creative with everything. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
As you're getting out, you broke 500 comments. So thank you so much, Scott. We really appreciate all the time.
Right on. Talk to y'all soon.
Have a great
Take
evening.
care. All right.
So
And
how
then
about I do
there
the
were
draw?
3.
Why don't I do the draw really quickly and then we go into the after party? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, while he's doing the draw, if anybody wants to hop in for the after party, like, let's go.
Yeah, come on in. We can
Come on
actually
in.
do it live at first. So why don't
Yeah.
we, Jesse? Why don't we plug in the link?
We'll do that. I'm going to put it in
For
the
the comment?
comments. If you want to
Yeah.
join us, find the link in the comments from me.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select the winner for Sam Sales.
Sam Sales, who's the winner? Oh, we need that music. I'm so off.
All right, Mr. Sugarman.
Lydia won. Oh, how? Wow. Okay.
So congratulations, Lydia. What I'm going to do is actually connect you with Sam, and she's going to be able to take care of you for that course. For Troy, I do want to make sure I look at, I think we can actually go back and it will fish all of the hashtag chores. I'm going to try it. If it doesn't, I'm going to just select somebody randomly, but I think it may just do it for us. So Troy, collect. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way. Zoe, what did you think? Give us some opinions. You're on mute, but that's okay. We still love you.
Opinions on the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Yeah, like so creative. Scott and I were chatting behind the scenes just about like the giveaway idea is like so fun. And I love like the pop-up visuals that I can kind of like as a speaker see people's comments coming through. So this is really cool. I love what y'all are doing here.
Well, it's
Awesome.
only gonna get better, and we'd love to have you on again. Like, since
I'll totally come on again. But
Yeah.
like pin me against like a CS person or
juicy.
someone who is from like a very large company. Like I've
Yeah.
never, okay, that's not true. I worked in a really big company like when I was an intern at a financial firm, you know, when I was in college. But other than that, like my professional career has only been like small tech startups. So like I'd love to duke it out around like the nuances and differences between working for like a really large company versus working for like a tech startup.
That would be an awesome show. We definitely have to do that. And me and Jesse have been talking about this idea of doing kind of like a reunion going into December. Because so for those who are still watching, and we're quite lucky actually, there's just over 20 people, but we are completely booked from now until the end of the year, but we've left ourselves about 2 weeks before the end of December. And we're thinking about potentially having a reunion, let's say just at the 3rd week of December before Christmas time, and just doing like an all-out bash. But we wouldn't be able to actually do it on this live. We would do something, let's say like a Zoom call, where we'd have all of the guests that have been there, try to get as many guests as we've had in the past, and just have as many of, let's say, the listeners and viewers all together so that we can have like this big, massive chat. What do you think?
It'd be very fun.
Yeah, I think
I
party.
think it would be real chaotic in like the best way.
Absolutely. No one's going to be able to talk because we're going to talk at the same time. So that's awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select somebody right out of the comments for Troy. Let me see here. You know what? Actually, we had 4 people. You know what? Out of the 4 people that were able to get in, I'm just going to go ahead and select it. It's that simple. So if you did, this is going to be the last gift that we give, and then Heels to Deals, I'll do it in the after party. So go ahead and just share this. There was only really a couple people that did it, so one of you is going to be able to win it. All right, so I'm hoping I spelled this right. Don't judge me if I didn't. So it's Pankti.
Oh.
It's Pankti. Perfect. So Pankti, congratulations on your prize. I'll reach out to you right after the show, and I'll see about getting that connected. Again, congratulations. We've got like 3 people already in there trying to get in, so we're going to have some fun. Let me get back out of here.
What's up, Topher?
Hey,
Congratulations tonight. You won something.
I know. I never win anything.
You won what? The Fathom box?
I did.
That's fun. T-shirt and hat coming your way.
I'm
More
jealous.
the merrier.
So what are you drinking tonight? I've got some banana whiskey. Isn't that banana?
What?
I know,
Oh,
right?
That sounds upsetting.
It's
no,
banana
that
flavored
looks
whiskey.
delicious.
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with natural banana flavor. Howler head.
Okay, hear me out. Flambéed French toast
Oh,
with that. That would be. I could get behind that. For sure.
Ooh.
Otherwise, flavored whiskey is just like so upsetting.
Ooh.
But I think in like a food or dessert context, I could fuck with some.
Okay, so that's
You're on
that's
this,
what I'm
Zoe.
drinking on tonight. Knob Creek Smoked Maple.
Okay.
Maple? I like smoked maple. That sounds really good.
Yeah, I mean it's a sin because I like bourbon, but it's just delicious.
Topher, what did you think about tonight's show, man? Be honest
That
with
was
us.
good.
Don't
Yeah,
you?
no. So my only gripe is not with you guys specifically, but LinkedIn's really screwed up your feed.
Okay, hear me out. Flambe French toast.
Oh, hold on.
We're going to mute you there for a second, Jim, until you mute your LinkedIn.
Me just rambling about French toast. No, I
It's so
thought
good that we have to do it twice.
the LinkedIn feed was like there was sort of a lag. Like I was not comments were just sort of getting stuck, and then all of a sudden it would like skip ahead to like different comments.
Yeah, no, I saw Zoe start a segment like 4 times in a row before I was like, you know what? Something's really, really off right now.
What's
So-
up, friends?
How's everybody
Oh.
doing? No, so for honestly, has anybody here noticed on LinkedIn how the engagement is just like all over the place? Like we were just talking about this in pre-show and how, let's say you'll do one post and you get something like 20, 30 reactions and a couple of comments. Then you do another post and out of nowhere you get like 100 and 150. And then sometimes you'll post something within an hour, you might get 9 people, and then randomly after that 1 hour elapses, you see like this surge of reactions. And what I've noticed in my own notifications is people will post stuff. Like let's say I'm ringing the bell for Zoe, and this happened with Zoe. She'll post something, but I won't get it until 28 minutes later for my notification. I'm like, how does it even make any sense? So I have to go in there at 28 minutes, and then there's like a surge that happens, and you see it just starts uproaring with comments and notifications. Have you seen that, Zoe? Did you know?
Oh, okay, so you're saying like you ring the bell, but you do not get the notification until 8 minutes later, which would make me think that other people are also not getting the notification.
Exactly.
So everyone who rang my bell is jumping in. Okay, this makes so much more sense to me now because I have also noticed where it's like, okay, I'll write something and like usually if things don't pop off in the first 30 minutes, I'm like, well, this is a dud. But I've seen it where like an hour later, I'll start to get that steady climb. Whereas before, like the algorithm was literally like I spoke to somebody at LinkedIn about this. They have changed it since. But if you could get 10 comments and I can't remember the like count in the first hour, it would literally like give you a super boost. Like they would then distribute your content to more people. They have since stopped that.
Damn
Oh,
it.
really? Because I'm still like obsessed that first hour.
I know, like that
How
first
it is
hour
right
is
now.
so important. But now I'm seeing like more of a steady incline after the first hour. And I've been so perplexed.
That's
with that.
true.
Because I'm like, this isn't, but they had to have changed the mechanism and like the way that they're calibrating the algorithm, because it used to be like if you could get 10 comments in that first hour, like that was going to be a good post. And now like jury's out. I have no clue how they're doing that. But I think the bell thing makes sense that if you're not getting the notification until 28 minutes later, probably everybody who has the bell rung isn't. And then you have a flood of your, followers hitting you up and engaging at the same time, which then probably boosts it in the algo. I also know there are people gaming the system. So that could be a different.
Yeah, because I was going to say exactly what you said. So I have noticed 1 or 2 very large influencers. They don't have that problem for some reason. I get their shit like immediately. I'll get a notification right away and I'm just like, oh, look at that. Nobody's even commented yet. But then the second I refresh, it's like 50 different reactions on it. But then all my homies that I'm trying to show love to, 28 minutes later, I get a notification. They literally have no engagement. And then I look back after an hour and it's like, oh, look at that, 50 reactions. So it's just, I don't know what's going on with their algo. And honestly, we always talk about, with intent. But here's the thing. Reactions create more awareness, which in turn distributes your intent. It's not that we're looking for a vanity metric. It's more because we want to distribute our intent to more eyes so that people can try to use this to their advantage to be able to excel in whatever it is that we're trying to preach. And that's the problem. It's like, yes, I'm mad that this shit's not working in my favor because I want people to see this. It's valuable information, but you're not distributing it until 28 minutes later. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, there's also like a human nature problem where content, like I have a mix of content on purpose. Like I write short, quippy, funny but like still true things on my platform in an effort to like kind of expand my reach. And then I'll put out a post about sales that's really actionable. And then I'll put out a post about mental health, which I'm really passionate about. But I mix in the funny, quippy stuff. One, because I think I'm funny and I like doing it. But two, because I know that stuff pops off way better than my 6 steps to getting like booking a meeting through social selling, because people want, like, we are obsessed with like the humor, the disaster porn. Like we want to hear the like brutal stories, like all of that stuff. And like we as human beings dictate what the algorithm boosts. So like it's natural that like crazier shit would get more.
People are people.
Yeah.
That's why people are like, why is LinkedIn turning into Facebook? It's like, well, there's people on Facebook and there's people on LinkedIn. So
Let's
talk
about that.
There's people like Marcus Chan and Jason Bay. They're on Facebook, and Grant Cardone's on Facebook. And I mean, it's you know what? Look, I said this last week, right? I mean, if you want to use social to sell your business, then go where your customers are. Right. Like I dig Zoe because of exactly what you said. Like I'm like that too. Like I'll just post things that I like, and like funny things, and then serious things, and then stuff that I'm trying to, let people know that I have something to say about XYZ business wise, and then I'll post a thing about my kid, or whatever. I mean, it's like, I'm not necessarily going there for my customer base. You know what I mean? Because my customers for my whole career weren't there. So I just enjoyed this community, and talking sales and stuff like that. But you go where it is. Like if you're on Facebook, go to Facebook. If they're on LinkedIn, you want to go to LinkedIn, you do LinkedIn.
I definitely want to chime in on this. And I think those who come from any marketing background is going to feel me on that. There's a lot of people who are talking shit about how LinkedIn is becoming Facebook. But what they're not seeing and what they're not truly looking at is first and foremost demographic. So if you look at today, right, the biggest user count comes from the 2 latest generations, being millennials and Generation Z. It's natural that these individuals that are going into a lot of these SaaS companies right now, these SaaS companies being proponents or being advocates like of trying to be social sellers, they come onto this platform, but they're already programmed to do what they do on other platforms like Facebooks of the world, like the Instagrams and TikToks of the world. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to come on to this platform and do what they already are good at. They're going to put out this so-called fluff that we all, at one point or another, disagree with. But what I do think is if we evolve with it and adapt with it, we're going to be early into it. Because right now, there's a lot of early that's not happening inside of LinkedIn. You see people starting just to adapt to video, just adapt to graphics, just adapt to so forth. But as you get into it, and if it does evolve further and further, and you're early in the game, you get to take advantage of it because whatever you're trying to profess or sell, you already have the following that's there based on the trend that you're moving along with. And I think that's what people are not really seeing. It's, yes, to you, it may be fluff, but if you use it, adapt it to what you're trying to preach and sell, it might really work to your advantage because this is the generation that's coming in. And the older generation is stepping outside of LinkedIn. So what do you expect? It's normal.
What do you mean, Steph? I mean, I'm 49 years old.
No, I'm saying it's natural as progressive. Older generations are going to move away eventually, and then the newer ones keep coming in. It's just a perpetual movement. Doesn't matter what age it is. Like eventually, the newer generation keeps coming in, and they learn from the younger generation.
Right.
I also think there's like a bit of a scarcity mindset people have, right? Like they're like, oh, well, if they're getting all that engagement, then there's not going to be any engagement left for me. And that's just like not the way that social media works, So like if a Will Aitken or a corporate bro comes on the platform and decides to do comedy, cool. Like that's their bag. And people can follow them and also follow me when I talk about mental health and all my bullshit. And also follow Scott, who's giving out actionable sales tips, and also follow, whoever in the recruiting space. Like there is no limit to the people that you can follow. You get to curate your own feed. So like people are like, this is turning into Facebook. I'm like, there's an unfollow button.
Exactly. Yeah. Not all content is for you.
Yeah.
So like when you think, like I had to learn that a little bit, I'll be honest with y'all, like I see some stuff that's so repetitive and so just terrible. I'm like, And for a second I get kind of mad, but then I'm like, it's not me. It's not for me. let me go past that, you know. And I'm just like,
follow. It's just that I do it all the time. If there's somebody who's putting out stuff that doesn't cater to what I'm trying to do, you just unfollow it.
Yeah.
In the last week, I had 30 people unfollow me, partially due to the fact that I'm down, bro. I'm down, and I want to go back to what you said. So Mark, what I was trying to say is when you're evolving outwards, I'm saying is that it's natural as people progressively get older.
Yeah.
Like if they die, they're no longer on the platform, but then the younger people come in. But like same thing with me. I went on live randomly twice in one day, just randomly. I called them random live because I was working. And funny enough, because I went on randomly, you get a notification and then it says unfollow right there. You have a choice on
getting unfollows. I almost unconnected with him on accident. I'm like, oh my God, no, I don't want to unconnect.
So I got unfollowed by 30 people. But funny enough, I also had 30 people watching. So we made an impact with 30 people, but 30 people decided that's not their jam. They don't want to see a random salesperson come on talking about sales confidence, talking about just sales sequences, or whatever it was. Right? That's
or
what
like coming on talking about like Rando 1, I think was the name you gave it.
Yeah, I called it Rando 1, Rando 2, and now I have a name to it. I'm going to start doing it every day or every 2 days once. It's a pretty cool name. You guys will see it randomly in your notification. If you unfollow me, it is what it is, but it's going to be a cool way because it started out with the idea of confidence in general. Put your best foot forward and just put yourself out there. And for me, I was just jamming. I had work to do. It was right before I had to go have lunch with a client. And then I had kind of like a golf, like a 9-hole golf game right after in the afternoon. I'm like, screw it, I got time.
I would love to hear from Jim, Ricky, Nick. We haven't even heard your guys' voices yet. How's it going? What'd you think of the show?
I unfortunately have this in the middle of my day every day, and I've got an 11:30 meeting. So I caught the back end, and I'm going to rewatch the rest soon. But I know it's always a good show, and you have incredible guests on. So there's always going to be incredible insights. I think that the one thing we all miss here with LinkedIn is we change. It's not just the platform that's changing. You know, like when you're a junior at school, you're like, you know, this is how it looks. And by the time you're a senior, you're like, oh, the juniors these days, right? But it's just your perspective actually shifted. And there's a lot of that too. Like we are the 1% talking to the 1% right now. The 99% that are passive consumers of LinkedIn, who aren't trying to build community on the platform, are probably still getting the same stuff, and it's still pretty similar. There's always been an element of vapid rubbish or benign bullshit. Like it's all still there, all the same, recycled content.
You make
us
it sound
recycling
sexy,
our own
man.
content, and it's all still just a bit of fun. But like everyone here is putting in 4+ hours a day on the platform. Like this is a very different world, right, from what most people are experiencing. I think that most people, when they post on LinkedIn, they're just getting the same. Like nothing much has changed. They wouldn't even be able to tell you if their engagement's gone up 30% or 20%, because that's not something people track, like normal people. Like it's something we track, right? But this isn't something like the 99% track or care about.
If I used any of those words with any of my Italian Long Island friends, they would fucking punch me in the head.
Why? Which words?
I'm talking about like, you know, my blue collar friend.
Yeah, about like LinkedIn stats and stuff.
Yeah. Engagement and like, what? You
I
getting
know, my
engaged?
husband looks at me like I'm crazy when I like get excited about my follower count or something.
You know what? LinkedIn changed my life, so I can't say anything. It changed my life in positive ways that I can't even describe.
Hey, we are all here because we are, you know, sentient beings who understand the benefits and value we're getting. Like we're not here that are like we're putting in all of this effort every day and not getting reward. Like the juice is worth the squeeze.
Oh, yeah.
But this is still very much a conversation for the top 1% that is actively building a future based on the responses they get from LinkedIn. When LinkedIn changes the algorithm, it's like you know, it's like Kellogg's changing their formula. Like it makes a big difference to some people's lives, right? But
it's kind
for
of like,
most,
I'm sorry.
no, go.
No, I was just thinking about it. You said something and it kind of keyed me in on almost kind of tying in, you know, Scott's book or this new thing, whatever, side hustle stuff, you know, because I have a few myself. But, you know, I feel like this LinkedIn thing is just for me a part of my grand scheme of things to put food on the table forever. You know what I mean, so to speak. You know, I got to tell you all the other things that it involves. You know, but you know, it makes me live the life I want to live. You know, and so you do it for that reason, right? And it doesn't, you know, wherever it might come from, whether it's multiple streams of income or it's through. But I think if it's like all the stuff, you know, could potentially lead to that, you know, answering that equation, you know, that makes all of us survive. You know, you don't do it just for fun. You do Facebook for fun, maybe. At least that's my opinion.
I don't know.
You
I don't know if Facebook's fun, but sorry. And I know
I
you
don't
asked me to
use it.
speak, and now I haven't shut up. But I'll just add on the formula bit. I keep thinking that
They're all different little
LinkedIn
pieces.
employs some really clever people, super smart, right? They can kind of pick the best of the best. And they trying to work out what do people want to see, what do people like, what do people want to engage with, what keeps them on the platform more, so that, you know, what makes it more useful for them. And one of the important metrics would be, how are people abusing the system, and how can we deter that, because that detracts from the user experience in general, right? So things like being able to get engagement in the first 30 minutes, well, that was a pretty easy one to hack, right? We all knew how to hack it. There were so many different ways to hack it. It was actually so easy to hack that it was just standard operating procedures. You post your link and then you post it in different chats or whatever, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got the engagement. But this was like letting the 1% get ahead, as opposed to the 99%, which maybe LinkedIn's trying to build. So they will keep changing the algorithm deliberately, and importantly, to improve the process better, so that genuine creators, that like Zoe, like most of the people here, genuine creators will still do well, and those that aren't probably won't. And overall, I think it's a good thing. So when your posts don't do well, I take that as a positive sign. Right? That's
So
some
Eddie,
good feedback for me.
Eddie, just so you guys know, like on the back channel, like even Zach and I were talking, it was glitching, going like it was like rewinding back to the rewinding back to the beginning.
That sucks.
Yeah, a few times. It wasn't. I thought it was me, and then Zach was telling me, and Jason was telling me on the back channel that it was going on.
We didn't do anything different.
Yeah,
like it would all of a sudden, like if I was
Zoe.
like if I clicked on like a support or a love thing, you know, click, you know, those things that fly up, or during when I was doing the hashtags, all of a sudden it was flipping back like 10 minutes.
Okay, what I do normally is I just refresh the screen. If that ever happens, refresh.
But then it was like still skipping back 2 minutes. It was
I noticed Topher was always, or not Topher, Nick, you were always behind on the hashtags. We'd be like on to like the third raffle down, and you'd be like writing in hashtags for like.
That's why the hashtags were fucked up. I didn't understand why people were doing a hashtag from one that had already passed.
What the other thing was remember the SAS Bros with the period? What happened was people were putting it in, but it wasn't coming up where you can select it. They were just hitting enter, because that's what happened to me. It wasn't coming up.
I see what you mean.
So I would just hit enter, and it wouldn't hyperlink it.
I see what you mean.
The feed was at a different spot on my computer versus my cell phone. I think I was on, so I was probably way behind. And then yesterday, random streams, Eddie, the same thing happened to me, where like it would like keep skipping back. So I don't know what's going on right now.
Yes, that's why when I jumped in and I jumped out, I was like, I thought you guys were still alive. I was like, oh, I'm out.
This is the LinkedIn Live where we complain about LinkedIn Live. And next week, we're going to have a VP of sales who has an outbound department complain about receiving cold calls. Right? Like we can just keep going through all of these meta
I will say this. I bet you could definitely get Brandon on the show. I guarantee you that.
Did we share our news, Eddie?
You did get him on the show?
Was I supposed to share the news? Should I wait?
Anybody want to know some really cool news?
Should I wait?
Well, nobody knows, because we said it earlier in the pre-show about who we got.
We said it in the pre-show.
So, you know what? No, let me get off and let me end the broadcast. So let's just say bye to everybody.
Okay. Okay.
The after party is here because
let me play the outro video.
There's nobody left anyways.
It's really great having everybody on. If you're here in the after party, stay on, and we've got some news to share with you. But
yes, we do.
We love our fans. Again, thank you so much. I'm going to play this outro video here really quick.